Good morning, everybody. So, once again, I am at the end of yet another relationship. And unlike the stands in my life, I have been spending the time to myself right now trying to figure out what the fuck. And when I come, because I don't want to sit here and just bitch and moan. You know what? What I'd like to do is figure out why the fuck it is that I end up feeling the way that I do. And I get to these points and all of a sudden one day I wake up and I realize I can't stand this person. And I don't even know what the hell it was that got me to that point. And then you start thinking, this last relationship, he thinks he spoiled me. He bought me shit I didn't want, is what he did. Because what I realized in the last 3 months, 4 months at this point that I've been dealing with him, I have heard nothing really, but he doesn't want a relationship. I know everything about him, his political bullshit. You know what? I don't think he could tell you a whole lot about me. He can tell you what he thinks he knows. But in 3 months, this man has not listened to anything that I've said. So, as in these very woods, I got into trouble with my car going through the mud. Well, mud which is now gone. But my car broke down, and the only choice that I had was to call one of my exes. Which, you know what, I feel like we're just staying with Stan. These guys are all just Stan. Stan, we'll just go with Stan 1. So I have to call Stan 1, which is my ex. And he comes out there and we have a 5-minute fucking conversation in which, at this point, I am seeing another person and I unloaded. And I realized that this is the first time that anybody's really listening. I don't even know if Stan 1 listens, to be honest, because I never really thought about this before, that how much it fucking bothers me that these men don't fucking listen to me. You know, they all preach honesty and communication, but the thing is they're the only ones that seem to want to communicate. They want to freaking unload all of their shit on me. And I'm not even allowed to talk. I haven't had a conversation where I got to talk and just say what I had to say without ridicule or shitty comments or being shut off. And by shut off, I mean not only interrupted, but not allowed to talk. Because I will point this out. Stan 2 is really good at unloading on me about all of his stuff, who he really is and how much he don't want to live with anybody and everything about him. And if I ever would even try to interrupt him, I'm just shut down. It's not like I even get a chance to talk later on. In 3 fucking months, I can pretty honestly say that I never got to have a conversation. There was no communication because I'm not allowed to fucking talk. which is why he knows nothing about me. So you know what I did is, and I questioned, like I start reverting to text because that's the only way I think I'm being listened. But then you start realizing that he's not reading them. He may be reading parts of them, but he's not reading all of it. You know how I know is because either he's not remembering shit or, and let's not get into the drinking, but this is about me and realizing truths about me is that I get into this stuff and I don't even realize that I'm not even allowed to talk. And Stan 1, where this was really bothering me, is Stan 1 used to complain that I used to interrupt him all the time. But you know what the thing is I thought long and hard about that. You know what? I smoke a lot of weed. And when I get super high, my ability to just sit and listen gets compromised, which I think happens to most people. That's why they like fucking drinking and using. Now, mind you, I don't need the fucking weed, and what I've realized is I'm better off laying off this shit if I'm gonna go have a conversation. You know, when I'm not feeling good. Last few days I haven't felt good. Probably because of this breakup, and he still was trying to unload his shit on me. Then God strike me down. But then his cat is dying. This is after I've already tried breaking up with him. And then the emotional fucking unloading. And then the getting drunk. Oh. And at this point, you've got family, man, that you treat like shit. I don't know. What I need to get better at is realizing when these people aren't paying attention. But I don't know. It was only 3 months. You know, I can beat myself up about even getting into this, but how do I know? My tendency is to give people the benefit of the doubt. I understand you've had a rough life. I understand shit's happened to you. Lord knows. But I can't keep being unloaded on when I never get to do any unloading. And through all of this, you know, I mistakenly think that Stan 1, maybe I have more, I do have a lot of feelings for him. I mean, I've gone on about him enough. But the truth is that he may listen a little more, but if anything gets emotionally uncomfortable and you're not just talking about movies and dogs, if you start talking about actual emotional stuff, he's done. He's done. He's not gonna, he don't want nothing to do with any of that. And if he can't point out what you're doing wrong, dude, here's the thing. I do like where I'm working. I like the store. I like things about the store. For the most part, I like my job, but my job's got stressful aspects to it, as everybody's job does. And, you know, lately things have been a little more stressful. And it just, you know, then you start wondering, you know, I don't make much doing what I do. I have the potential to make a lot more. But by no means am I ready to quit my fucking job. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not looking for how I could have done better. I am 50 years old and I am an adult. And I can handle it. But you know, sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. And that, I'd like to find a Stan. They wouldn't be Stan then. That would spend some fucking time listening. Just sit and fucking listen. And you know what? I'm going to say this because I feel like I need to say this. All these fucking people that are sitting on Reddit and want to right away condemn people who cheat. I am sorry, but no relationship is getting to the point of cheating unless those people have personality disorders. In which case, but a relationship don't get to the point of cheating because there's nothing wrong. And that goes for both fucking sides. You know, I know a little more about dealing with men's reaction to it, but women aren't any better. You know, if you are being cheated on, maybe you should look at what you've been doing. Because if there has been a lack of intimacy for long periods of time, and you keep shutting that person down, you can't keep doing that, especially if they've already tried coming to you about it. The world is not a space where people who just don't want to have intimacy can just say that and shut the other person down and say, hey, well, you know what? Live without. Because that seems to be the social norm. You know, as much as I don't know. I want to say sex, but I don't know if I'm allowed to. So as long as intimacy sells, as much as intimacy sells, you know, I seem to see a whole lot of people that have the fucking attitude that they can make their partner live without, and that's just how they have to deal with it. Because if they go out and try to get it from somebody else because you keep shutting them down, that condemns them automatically. Nobody wants to look at the fact that maybe, just maybe, that person has had enough. Because in most cases, those people could have hid what they were doing better. You know, I'm not talking about these people who have been cheating on their, and, you know, if they've been cheating on their wife in 20 years, my guess is there's nothing going on at home. And that's the problem nobody wants to deal with. Because when it comes to intimacy, whoever doesn't want it seems to think that they have the right to just tell the other person that they have to, either the relationship has to end or they have to live without. And that, to me, is ludicrousy. First of all, it's not fucking fair. And I am not, by any means, condoning cheating. That really is not the solution either. It's just creating more fucking problems. Now you got that to deal with. Not just the fact that now the other, you know what you did? You gave that person ammunition to say, you're a fucking loser. And because that's the social norm. Everybody wants to condemn the person who is cheating. Jesus, fuck. Live in reality, people. I can tell you right now, dealing with one man is a fucking enough. Juggling two, that's, to me, is just a fucking form of torture. I did not do it with the intent that I ever thought. Whoa, there's a lot. Look at. This is all. There's a lot of it out here. Kind of an eerie feeling. I think we will head back to the truck. Or car. It's not a truck. Alright. Those are my feelings for today. And I think there's a lot of people in this world that feel the same fucking way. There's a whole big group of us that like this relationship, he freaking pushes the communication and honesty. Well, honesty. His version of being honest seems to be withholding is okay, though. You can withhold information, that's fine. He's real honest about the big things that should make a big difference, and I didn't see them as red flags. I just saw them as tiny little obstacle. And that whole thing made me question my own feelings about Stan 1. But really, Stan 1 ain't ever going to be anything different. You know, he pretends to be there for a second, but when things get... You can't fucking deal with emotions. And I have them. And that's just reality. Anyway, who knows what the future actually holds? What I know is if I'm not going to be listened to, I think people need to focus more on listening. And actually listen to those people. Don't spend your time sitting. Actually listen. But don't hear your partner say they don't like red and then go buy her everything in red and tell her you're spoiling her. That is a Homer Simpson gift. A Homer Simpson gift is a bowling ball that he gives Marge with the holes cut out for himself. If you're buying a gift for your woman, that's way more about you than them. It ain't really for them. And I could have bought it if it would have been just makeup, which to me was kind of a personal thing in the first place. But then to buy it in a color I don't want to even wear, and I've already expressed this to you, this brings me to, I watch people read Reddit. And so many people, these girls, and I was one of them, I'll be honest. These girls where they're pissing and moaning about their wedding rings. And how they wanted these specific things, and their man went out and got them a wedding ring, and then they get all pissed. You know what the problem there is that they really feel like they really communicated this well. And I'm going to guess is that this isn't the first time that he has either bought her a gift that wasn't about her because it wasn't what she wanted. And by what she wanted, I don't mean that you have to sit there and be like, but dude, if you're going to buy her something in a color and then make a big deal out of the color on top of it, or a specific ring and blatantly do it, don't ask her and then do it your way anyway. If she's told you, you need to listen. And not just that once. This is over an accumulation of listening where she's all of a sudden realizing that her man hasn't been listening. And that hurts. It hurts when you think that you've communicated all of this stuff. And they just do what they're going to do anyway. All right. Well, what the hell am I here for? I'm just being here for you. Apparently, that's my only position in this. Whatever. Okay. Again, I'm going to say, because now I'm almost spoke 10 minutes after that. I hate to be so conscious of how long I'm going, but there is a part of me that just feels like I'm complaining. But I don't have a girlfriend. Because finding a woman who will sit and listen, I don't know. And not pull shit behind your back. Like I've had it up to my neck. All right, I'm going to end this. I am not turning the camera around today because I wasn't going to do a video. But you know what? I tend to ruminate. And the ruminating drives me stark raving nuts. And now what I found is doing these videos and posting them, it causes me to ruminate a lot less. And there is something about posting them. I don't know if it just makes you feel like somebody is listening. But so many people are like, "Oh, you just my views." I ain't making any money off of this. I get a lot of complaints when I'm not posting shit. But none of those people are, when I need financial help or anything, I don't hear from anybody. So, you know what? I post, I don't post. Follow me, don't follow me. I don't care saying about how many posts I get. I guess it's to help me feel like I have some kind of connection in this world, that somebody may be paying attention. There's another pile of shit. All right, this is Jen from Jen's House of Zen. Wishing everybody to have a fabulous day. There's more poop. Look at that. Wishing everybody a fabulous day. And what is my next line? I am doing the best with what I have been given. Good day.